Ever wondered what makes your favorite websites tick? What invisible hands craft the seamless experiences you enjoy every day? Every online shop, from the smallest boutique store to the largest e-commerce platform, social media platform, connecting billions across the globe, or blog, sharing thoughts and ideas with the world, is built through web development. It's the intricate process of creating, designing, coding, and maintaining websites, ensuring they're not only functional, but also user-friendly and visually appealing, and web apps that shape our digital lives, influencing how we communicate, learn, and interact with the world around us. Web development is like being both the architect, envisioning the structure and layout, and builder of the internet, meticulously crafting each element to bring that vision to life. Without it, the web would be a mess of disconnected documents, a chaotic jumble of information, not the interactive, dynamic, and engaging world we know and rely on today. At the core of web development are programming languages, the fundamental building blocks, special instructions, written in a precise syntax that tell computers exactly what to do, how to behave, and what to display. You can't just ask a computer to make a website in plain English. It requires a structured and logical approach. You need to use a language it understands, a language that translates your ideas into actionable commands. Each language has its own rules and purpose, its own strengths and weaknesses, and learning them is the first step to building for the web, to unlocking the potential of the digital world. These languages let us design, structure, and control every element on a web page, from the text and images to the layout and interactive features. In this guide, we'll start with the basics, the fundamental concepts and tools you'll need to get started, the languages behind what you see in your browser, the front-end technologies that create the user interface. Then we'll peek behind the scenes, exploring the server-side technologies, at the languages that make websites smart and powerful, enabling them to handle data, process requests, and deliver personalized experiences. Think of this as your roadmap to web development, a comprehensive guide to navigate the complexities of the digital landscape, breaking down complex ideas into simple steps, making the learning process accessible and enjoyable for everyone. Let's dive in and see how the web is really built, uncovering the secrets behind the websites and applications you use every day. What is a programming language? Imagine building furniture with a step-by-step manual. A programming language is that manual for computers, a set of clear, logical instructions. Computers need precise commands, not human language. There are many programming languages, each with its own rules and best uses. Some are perfect for websites, others for apps or data analysis. In web development, we combine languages to create a complete experience. Think of building a house. HTML for structure, CSS for design, JavaScript for interactivity. Each language plays a specific role, working together to create what you see in your browser. Don't be intimidated. Programming languages are logical and predictable. Learn the rules, and you'll know exactly what your code will do. As we continue, you'll see how each language fits into the bigger picture of building a website. Let's explore the essential building blocks of the web. Let's start with the front end, the part of web development that directly interacts with the user. It's where design meets functionality, and it's crucial for creating a positive user experience. It's the part you see and use in your browser, the visual interface that allows you to navigate and interact with content. Think of buttons, text, images, and all the interactive elements. The very foundation of every web page, the underlying structure that brings it to life, is HTML. It's the bedrock upon which all other front-end technologies are built. HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, is the standard language for creating web pages. It provides the structure and content for everything you see online. HTML isn't a programming language in the traditional sense, meaning it doesn't execute code or perform complex calculations. Instead, it's a markup language that organizes content, defining the structure and meaning of the text, images, and other elements on a web page. It's all about semantic structure. It's the skeleton of a site, the basic framework that gives shape and form to the content. Without it, the content would be a disorganized mess. HTML is responsible for defining headings, using tags like H1, H2, and H3 to create a clear hierarchy of information. It also defines paragraphs using the P tag to structure blocks of text and make them readable. And it handles lists and images using tags, allowing you to present information in an organized and visually appealing way. These tags tell the browser what each piece of content is, whether it's a heading, a paragraph, an image, or a link. The browser then uses this information to render the page correctly. Without HTML, a web page would be a jumbled block of text, a chaotic and unreadable mess. It would be impossible to navigate or understand the content. Every website you visit, from the simplest blog to the most complex e-commerce platform, is built on HTML. It's the universal language of the web. Want to see it for yourself? Right-click on any web page and view the page source. You'll see the HTML structure, the underlying code that defines the content and layout of the page. It might look intimidating at first, but it's actually quite simple once you understand the basics. This structure is crucial for both users and search engines. A well-structured page is easier to navigate and understand, and it also helps search engines index and rank the page correctly. A well-structured HTML document with clear and semantic markup is the first and most important step to building a great website that is accessible, user-friendly, and search engine optimized. Think of HTML as the blueprint for a house, the foundational plan that dictates the structure and layout. It lays out the rooms and walls, defining the space and how it's organized. It's the framework upon which everything else is built. Before you can decorate, add furniture, or paint the walls, you need the structure, the solid foundation that holds everything together. HTML builds that essential framework for every page online, providing the structure and meaning that allows users and search engines to understand and interact with the content. With HTML in place, your site has structure, but it's plain. Enter CSS or cascading style sheets, the language for styling HTML. If HTML is the skeleton, CSS is the designer, adding colors, fonts, spacing, and layout. CSS selects HTML elements and applies visual rules, making your site unique and appealing. It separates style from structure, so you can update your site's look with just one file. This makes managing and updating your site much easier. CSS enables creativity, from responsive layouts to smooth animations. It transforms a basic HTML page into a polished professional website. Now we have structure and style, but our site is still static, like a magazine page. JavaScript changes that. It's the programming language that brings interactivity to your browser. JavaScript lets you respond to user actions, showing menus, validating forms, updating content instantly. It powers everything from image sliders to real-time maps and games. Without JavaScript, you'd have to reload the page for every change. It turns static pages into dynamic, responsive experiences. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are the essential trio of front-end development. HTML gives structure, CSS adds style, and JavaScript brings interactivity. Every interactive feature you use online, from search bars to live notifications, relies on JavaScript. Together, these three languages create the modern web experience. Master them, and you can build almost anything you see online. So far, we've focused on the front end, the part users see, but behind every interactive site is the back end, or server side. Think of it as the kitchen in a restaurant. You place an order in the dining area, front end, and the kitchen, back end, prepares your meal. The back end includes a server, an application, and a database. The server waits for requests, the application processes them, and the database stores information. Back-end languages run on the server, not in your browser. When you visit a site, your browser requests data, the back-end processes it and sends back a custom page. This is essential for sites that store and manage data, like social media or online stores. The back-end checks logins, saves photos, and manages user data securely. You can't do this with just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The back-end is what makes websites truly dynamic and powerful. Just like the front end, the back-end has its own popular languages. Three of the most common are Python, PHP, and Ruby. Python is known for its clean syntax and is often used with frameworks like Django or Flask. It's great for handling user accounts, payments, and more, used by sites like Instagram. PHP was built for the web and powers platforms like WordPress. It's excellent for pulling data from databases and creating dynamic pages. Ruby, paired with the Rails framework, is famous for helping developers build complex sites quickly. Sites like Airbnb and GitHub started with Ruby on Rails. Each language has strengths, but all handle requests, process logic, and interact with databases. They're the engines running behind the scenes of your favorite sites. Now let's talk about static versus dynamic websites. A static site is simple, pre-built HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files sent directly to your browser. The content never changes unless a developer updates it like a digital brochure. Static sites are fast and secure, perfect for portfolios or info pages. Dynamic sites, on the other hand, generate content on the fly using the backend. When you log in or view a product, the backend fetches your data and builds a custom page. This allows for personalization and real-time updates, think social media or online stores. Dynamic sites use back-end languages and databases to deliver unique content to each user. They're the backbone of today's interactive web. Static sites are fast, dynamic sites are powerful and flexible. So what exactly a database? It's a term we hear often, especially in the context of websites and applications. But what does it really mean? Let's break it down. At its core, it's an organized collection of data. Think of it like a digital filing cabinet, but far more powerful and efficient. Instead of physical documents, it stores information electronically in a structured way. Websites use databases extensively. They're essential for storing all sorts of information, starting with users' products, including descriptions, prices, and availability, or even blog posts, all organized in structured tables. This structure allows for quick and easy retrieval of specific data. Backend languages like Python, PHP, or Node.js, act as the bridge, connecting your site to the database, performing 4 key actions, often referred to as CRUD operations. First, create, read, which means retrieving data from the database, update, modifying existing data, and delete, CRUD. These are the fundamental operations for managing data. Let's look at some real-world examples. For example, when you sign up for a website, the code creates a new user record in the database, storing your username, email, and password. When you log in later, it reads your info from the database to verify your identity and grant you access. Want to change your profile information? The code updates your record in the database with the new details. Decide to leave the site and delete your account? The code then deletes your data from the database, removing your account entirely. Most web databases use SQL, or Structured Query Language, a language specifically designed for managing data. MySQL is a common and popular example of a database management system that uses SQL. Your backend code sends SQL commands to the database, instructing it on what data to retrieve or modify. This allows you to fetch specific information or update existing entries with ease. It might sound complex at first, but remember that you can always start simple and build your knowledge gradually. Begin with the front end. Write a basic HTML page to structure your content, add some CSS to style it and make it visually appealing, and then explore how they connect and interact with each other. Remember, there are countless free resources available online to help you learn and grow your skills. So take that first step. Your journey into the exciting world of web development starts with a single line of code.